The quantum leap. The quantum leap. Boy, do I have a lot to say about that and how it's one of the most misrepresented, misunderstood, um, overexposed buzzwords of the spiritual marketplace and of any kind of spiritually based coaching. Um, I've helped people deal with their quantum leap hangover from too much movement too fast when they have made big strides, shifted realities, shifted consciousness states, and did not prepare themselves for the landing. So, what does that mean? Well, first of all, hello, I'm Catherine Massal. This is my channel where visionary entrepreneurs come to reconnect with their genius and purpose and passion and prosperity. And I've been doing this work for a while as a mentor, master energy healer, and teacher, facilitator, author, speaker. And I know a little bit about shifting realities and about jumping timelines. And one of the things I see being taught in what I call the spiritual marketplace, the metaphysical marketplace, and held as like kind of the holy grail of shifting realities, is this idea of the quantum leap. First of all, let's take any stigma away from it that it's like reserved for an elite few. Anybody can have a quantum leap. And a quantum leap is really an abrupt change of circumstances. That's really all that it means. It's not like quantum physics has a definition for that for the coaching world. That's something that is adopted and adapted from quantum physics to be a buzzword for marketing in the coaching world. Okay. So when you understand that a quantum leap, really all it is it's a drastic change in circumstances that comes on in an accelerated way, or rather abruptly. It's kind of similar to what trauma means. So I'm just going to put that out there. It's kind of similar to an abrupt change in circumstances where the nervous system can react as if it's something really unsafe, and therefore something to try to get rid of, something to try to protect yourself from. And the ways we do that as human beings is the blanket term for it is self-sabotage, or we procrastinate, or we can have too much of a good thing, meaning people who win the lottery, that can be a traumatic event for people, especially if they were poor and entrenched in poverty consciousness one minute, and then the next having a complete change of circumstances with having maybe more money than they know what to do with, and more money they could ever spend in a lifetime. That does something to the nervous system. Okay. So preparing for a quantum leap means you prepare yourself by creating the landing gear. What do you do once you land? Once you go through and come out the other side of this quantum leap, this drastic change in circumstances, a reality shift, a change in consciousness states, a paradigm shift, how are you then going to make sure that you don't sabotage that? Make sure that you can keep that change. And not only that, create a foundation that you can build more change from in a way that feels safe, and it doesn't feel like something you have to protect yourself from. So this is what I do. This is something that I help people create, this foundation. It's like preparing for an acting role. So if you're an actor or an actress and you understand the character, you create a foundation for that character, you make them real to you. If you're going to play a character in a way that feels natural, you're going to find out what the little nuances are of playing that character. What's the identity of that person? Who are they? What are they doing? What are they like? What are they hanging out? How are they spending their day? What kind of conversations are they having with people? How are you showing up in your world every day? And that is really a physical projection or concretization of who you believe yourself to be as an identity of I don't know, a $30 million lottery winner, or someone that is shifting realities to be the one that is flush with clients or flush with cash, or, having a soulmate relationship that feels wholesome and natural and easy for you and not something you want to sabotage or run away from. What's the identity of that person? That's the landing gear. And if you're not preparing yourself with that and how do you prepare yourself? Well, you show up every day as if you already are that person. You assume that you're living in the end result of this identity of the person that inhabits this change you wish to accomplish, you wish to achieve. And it's not something that you need to do in great leaps and bounds and think of bold strokes. It's about the little things. It's about the details. It's about how you talk to yourself, your inner dialogue. It's about how you say out loud what your experience of life is. If you're someone that is ticked all the boxes of success, whatever that means for you, and you want to make a quantum leap or a shift into that personality, if you're not showing up in some way, or at least some macroscopic snapshot of who that person is now in some ways, and like how you talk to yourself, how you explain or talk about or describe your experience of everyday life, if those things don't match up, you're going to find a way, your nervous system specifically is going to find a way to reject this identity. So you can make the quantum shift. Anybody can. Anybody can have a quantum leap. So let's take the the golden sheen off of it and talk about it in very real world terms. Anybody can have a quantum leap or a sudden change of circumstances. There's no special people on the planet that are, exclusively set up to receive that kind of shift in their reality. Anybody can do that. But the trick is to keep it. The trick is to be able to have the landing gear where you can negotiate a new identity for yourself that feels like all the naturalness, all the normal normalness of being this person, as if it's like no big thing. This is just me. This is just who I am now. This is just what I do. This is just what I wear. This is just how I spend money. This is just how I expect to receive money. This is how I expect to be treated and respected. And this is how I treat and respect others. It's an identity that you have to be able to nail before you actually make that leap and the shift, if you want to keep it. If you want to just experience the quantum leap, anybody can do that. It's not special, okay? Keeping it, being able to sustain that energy and inhabit that identity of self with all the normalness and naturalness of it just being you. As easy as it is for you to be you now. Can you do that with this new identity of the one who has shifted? That's the key. That's the trick. That's my zone of genius. I had a really good year this year. And I really want to pay it forward in a way where if you what I'm saying to you, if you're still sticking around and you're still listening, if what I'm saying to you really resonates with you, like, oh, I get that, that makes sense. And I'm willing to commit to what that looks like to concretize that shift. And I want to work with Catherine to do that. But I don't want to break the bank to do it. Then I have something to tell you. Landing the Quantum Leap is a session that I'm going to do with I've offered it to 9 people. There's only 7 of these left. And it's first come, first serve based on the next 7 people who fill out my client application, because that's how I know you're serious about this and you're going to show up and do the work. This is the client application. Filling that out allows me to see if we're a good fit to work with each other. Otherwise, I don't want to waste each other's time. I want to work with people who are willing to give up, a way of being that, quite frankly, what's not wholesome to you, and giving up your victim consciousness. If you're willing to totally believe or at least accept the possibility that you're 100% the creator of your reality, those are the people I work with. Otherwise, you're not committed and we'll be wasting each other's time. But if you want to clear what is in the way of you having a quantum leap and shifting, shifting reality, shifting timelines, shifting to a higher identity and version of you. They're all the same thing, just different ways of talking about it, different wording. And you want to be able to create the landing gear, meaning we work together in a very quick session. We're doing this in 45 minutes, under an hour, to concretize this identity of you. So you know who this person is, so that right now you can start showing up as this person. It's basically your insurance policy to say, when I remove and dissolve these energy leaks that are keeping me from this leap, shift, change in consciousness states, which is really what a quantum leap is. Once that's dissolved, and once you're free and open to receive, let's make sure you don't sabotage it. Let's make sure that all the landing gear is there. So not only can you fully inhabit this identity of you as the changed, higher, idealized version of you that's more abundant, that feels more prosperity, that feels more confident, that feels more courageous about doing things that maybe would have, struck the fear of God in you before, but it's with all the normalness and naturalness of just being this new version of you now. And it feels right. It feels easy. Why? Because it's so much simpler to be this version of you. If you could only understand, the most simple and elegant solution of you is showing up in your truth, showing up in your authenticity. And the truth and the authenticity of you is you in your abundance. That is your birthright. That is who you are. You never came here to just suffer. And if you believe that human existence is just suffering, we are definitely not a match to work together. This is not a place to come and tell your story. The second you start telling your story, I'm going to end the session. It is not that. This is a very proactive session. This is where we start shifting the energy right away, because I am an intuitive channel. So whatever you think are the blocks, those are just the symptoms of something that's a deeper root cause. And I'm able to go in there very quickly and kind of pluck those out, bring them to the surface so that you can evaluate and investigate them and finally see them for the false ideas and assumptions that they are. When we do the end of the call, it's about the strategy of, okay, how do you keep this change? How do you keep this leap? How do you use this now as a new foundation for just who you are? And you build from there. And you don't ever have to go back to that old identity of self. But in order to ensure that, it is about doing everything that I'm asking of you and inviting you and encouraging you to do in this call. And if you're not willing to do that, if you're willing to keep arguing for your captors and your smallness, again, this is definitely not for you. But for those of you who are still sticking around and like, ooh, this is me, for the next 7 people who fill out the client application, it's first come, first served. There's going to be just a few more sessions left for December because we're in the holidays here and my calendar is full ish. There's a couple more available for December, but those will go first to the ones who do their client application and complete that first. And then the next part of that 7, whoever you are, will have sessions with me in January. So the price for this is a stupid, crazy, insane, no-brainer deal at $144. So there it is. That's what's out there. And if you're just coming across this video for the first time, get a kind of sense and a flavor for me first, please, before taking the time to go through the client application. Go through a few of my videos here. I have 500 of them on YouTube. So, see if we're fit. I don't want to waste anybody's time here, and we don't need to waste each other's time. So I want this to be a right fit. I won't accept all the client applications. I'm very choosy. If I in your answers pick up something where it's like, no, you want to hold on to your story. No, you still want to play the victim. No, you still want to believe that it's outside circumstances and outside conditions controlling your fate and your destiny. They aren't. They aren't. Everything is here for your benefit. And when you learn how to see that and then use conditions and circumstances just as valuable feedback to show you where you're off in your inner state, in your inner reality, then you are really in control of your destiny. Then you are really in control of your emotions. And you have the emotional bandwidth after this call to be able to look at life's challenges in a completely different perspective, believe me. So there it is, friends. I hope that this finds the right people. I hope that you can make this work. I don't know if I'm going to be offering this again anytime soon, but again, I had a very good year. I wanted to pay it forward. This session, what I charge for an hour and a half is over $1,000. So this is offered at a great and a significant discount. So I truly hope that you can see the value in this. And if this is for you, I can't wait to work with you. So thanks, everybody. Bye for now.